Alright guys, today we are gonna watch the Dojo Wars for Cipanku Dojo Round 5, so this is the semifinals. It's gonna be Legacy against Asylum, and from all reports, this should be a banger of a series. We might see Saga, we might, and we have the standings just went out. I know Ete is like a really famous player. I know Workman. I've seen him fool around. He's very prolific. Little Tem stream connoisseur. He has a lot of baby Tems. Lumud. We've got Saga. And let's see. I want to see Ete. I want to see Ete play. So let's see what's going on in this one. So it looks like Ete is running Nagais, which means usually a slower composition. Although this comp doesn't look too slow, it could be a water Nagais, a water guardian, custodian Nagais. Alola, another very powerful player. Looks like they're, I believe, is this the female? I'm not sure exactly, but they are running kind of an Ahi team. Ahi always kind of warping the team a little bit. You want multiple different neutrals if you have Ahi. Golzi, so a little bit more aggressive, frailer team, while Ete's team's a little bit slower and still aggressive. So we are going to see the Ahi band. Very interesting band. Very interesting band. Usually, Ahi is not like on that hyper S tier of like, I would say like there's like 10 temps that are like hyper S tier. So usually you don't see it banned, but maybe there's an opening Ete really wants. Ahi is very good at taking down Gaialis in the opener. However, we are going to see Nagais banned. So they both are trying to enact their own game plans rather than do a specific opener with their bans, or at least Alola is just banning generally, I think. Alola's ban it doesn't seem like it was in response to Ahi's, what it looks like, but I could be completely wrong. We are going to see the Rolder open. When in doubt, open with Rolder. Classic. Very hard to go wrong with the Rolder opener, although it is so good that it is predictable, which sometimes lets people set up specific plans for Rolder opens. So let's see, we are going to start with Inukama. The water coverage is very good. If you can chip down Rolder, you can usually burst it from about 60% health with Aquatic Whirlwind. Although Rolder will kill most Ukamas in 2 attacks, so you don't have a lot of time. And then a Mix. Mix also having a stab super effective attack against Rolder with the psychic moves, but the big psychic moves don't come until hold 2. So it's an interesting opener, not one I've seen very often. But comboing with the Rolder is going to be a Moala. Now Moala can either have Haka or Hypnosis. If it is Hypnosis, it's not going to be able to sleep the Mental Tem. If it is Haka, also kind of concerning. Moala doesn't have that much offensive stats though, and it gets a lot of incentive from being fast. So if it is a full attack Moala, it might be able to threaten this Mix, but we shall see. The Gaialis band coming out for round 2, very good band. That Tem is just generally very good, and it's very good against certain team comps, being able to sweep multiple electrics or crystal weak Tems. Crystal or fighting weak Tems can sweep them very easily. And then Ete is looking to ban, and it's going to end up taking out the Rolder. Another just good quality, just quality bans, just banning out the quality Tems. Ete opening up with Thanks, a neutral, and Alola responding with Move Flank Tolkien. Ete pulling out the Mimit, which is really interesting. He has 2 neutrals and a Mimit, so it's almost 3 neutrals. Although Mimic can also copy the enemy's team, which is Interesting. There are very few Tems that are weak to their own typings. And then Minotaur. The electric is going to be good against the Tolkien. Let's see how it shakes out. This is looking like, I feel like both these players are like on some next level shit that I'm not fully understanding what is entirely going on. It is a hypnosis or a sleepy Moala, so it is going to start the game by sleeping the non-mental Tems. So Mix stays awake. We are probably going to see it do a wake up if it's hypnosis. It's probably going to wake up Rolder, and Rolder's probably going to attack. The question is who? A Stone Ball would probably not kill Mix and put it in Puppet Master range, which is very dangerous. Mix is very powerful against this double neutral. Mix can sweep the entire team for Alola. If Mix gets online, Alola will win. And Mix is gonna open up with a Crystals on itself, which automatically puts it in range, which forces the ruler to attack the Ukama, which luckily Ruler is so slow with Stone Ball, it doesn't give Ukama a chance to attack that turn that it wakes up. But this is nightmare mode for Ete, because that Mix can do serious damage to Ete's team, and the only way to kill it now is through an AoE attack. And we know that Rolder has a potential. Rolder potentially does have an AoE attack. Alola is banking on Rolder not having Rockfall. If Rolder has Rockfall, he can kill Mix this turn. If he does not have Rockfall, I don't know that any other Tems on Ete's team have an AoE attack, although there is a small potential Mimit can copy somebody else with an AoE attack. So we are going to see the Venks come out. And the Mix is getting started immediately, just dropping a giant crystal spikes. Maul is just getting doubled, and it is out of the game. Oh yeah, this is quickly getting out of control. Quickly. This Mix even has a sweatband, so it is ready to stay here for a long time and put out a lot of pressure onto Ete, who I'm not sure he's gonna have a good answer to this Mix. The Mimit is gonna transform into a Venks, which is interesting. I'm not sure if there's any big synergies there other than just getting another value Tem. But also a second neutral on a board with a Mix in it is suspect. The water cannon is going to come out. Ukama is just splashing value. It is going to get punished though. First Savage Suplex comes out. It does not kill, unfortunately, which would have been a chance for this Mix to go down. Like I said, the only way you can kill it is by AoE attack, or if you kill the other Tem and still have a move left to hit Mix. So he is set up for that this turn, but it is trivial for this. We're definitely going to see the Ukama swap out so that it does not die and leave Mix open. The question is, what is it going to swap out into? It can swap into a Volphy, which would... is it 4 times resistant to electricity? Most Minotaurs only have electric moves for the first round. And then Venks... wow, this is looking so bad for Ete. Like, it was almost lost as soon as Alola put their Mix into Puppet Master range. Almost lost at that exact moment. We might see Mix even do a refresh here for +2 special attack. I think that would, although it did one-shot the Mimit. No, it didn't one-shot it. It took a water cannon too. The only chance I really see for Ete here is killing this Ukama and then killing the Mix in the same turn. But like I said, that is very, very unlikely. Although Alola doesn't have a lot of tanks, doesn't have any really bulky tank Tem that can really just put the thumb screws with Mix. But doesn't look like she's gonna need it, or they're gonna need it at all. Mix is set up to destroy this whole entire board. There's not a Tem left that isn't weak to Mix for Ete. And it looks like the roller did not have Rockfall, unfortunately. It's not very common to bring Rockfall on Roller. There's a lot of good abilities you can bring on Roller, but Rockfall is the only AoE attack that is decent. But you don't see Rollers bring it a lot because of Roller's tardy rush, pushing it into a specific kind of sustainable playstyle. We are getting a little bit of time here to figure things out. I don't know who's waiting. Maybe Alola is trying to figure out. I mean, it's pretty simple here. We're gonna see Alola swap out Ukama. And I don't know that there's anything Ete can do. The roller is gonna come back in. Maybe tank a crystal move from it is going to tank a Crystal Spikes from the Mix, causing the Mix to overexert itself. It's close, but it's close, but it's not close. It did leave the Ukama in because he knows that because Alola knows that it can kill Minotaur before it acts. Actually, that was kind of a ballsy move. If Minotaur had Hasty Lunge and was faster than Mix, it could have all came crumbling down there. But Roller is going to do a Drill Impact, which is interesting. It's saving its scoring, which is definitely up. Probably wise. It's not like this thing is going to need to be stamina conscious at this point. We get some good damage into this Tolkien. The issue is that the roller is going to die before it makes a move, and you have to do 2 moves to kill this Mix. So we're probably going to see the ruler die, and the Venks is going to kill the Tolkien. And yeah. Crystal Spikes comes out. 3 prio. It does kill the ruler. Puts Mix at 4% stamina. Tornado coming out for Tolkien. Getting some good damage on Venks. Venks will die from a Psy Surge at this point. The Venks does put down the Tolkien. I mean, the other way through this is if you KO every other 10 that Alola has, then you could KO the Mix. And it's looking like that's what Ete is going to try and do, although Ete is out of Tems. And, but to be fair, Mix is out of stamina, so Mix can one-shot this Minotaur with a Crystal Spikes, but it will KO itself in doing so, but I mean, Mix got what it came for. It was just 1 Tem, and it pretty much killed 3 by itself. Wolfie getting the exhaust down on Banks. Headram coming through. Actually really funny. That is a very stamina efficient move. Sacrificing Prio and Stab, but becoming yeah, and Alola takes it. Mix is Mix is a scary Tem. It's a very tough to wield, but we saw that it can just end games almost by itself. Let's take a peek here. Let's see what Saga is doing. Take a peek, look-see, the back end of this game. Looks like Saga is up 4 Tems to 2. Noxolotl post-trance, it looks like. Don't know. Well, Xiaobiang could potentially Xiaobang doesn't have access to good fire moves, so it can't deal with Chimurian very easily. Does have Electric for Calibus. And Turbine, so here comes the Turbine out. Does it kill Calibus? It does not. Calibus, bulky. And the CPG comes out, ending Rarzy's chance to come back in this game. Yeah, it looks like Rarzy will lose this round. And then that leaves Workman and Cammy. Oh, this fight's in the middle of it. We still have 4 attempts on both sides. The Valorant having +8 special defense. Frozen, evasive, and +6 speed. My goodness. This Valorant is very tanky to special attacks. And it's going to do a lot of damage with Hyperkinetic Strike. It's looking like Cammy's on the back foot here unless it can somehow deal with this Valorant. The Water Cannon comes out and that will kill. That does end up KOing. So that is not too bad. Out comes the Pig again. Looks like Cammy is doing a freeze strat here. If Ukama didn't OX, I didn't see if it OX'd. If Ukama didn't OX, it can Tsunami and we can refreeze this. We can refreeze this Valorant. Wait a minute, guys. Maybe? But I think Ukama is OX'd. If I was a betting man, I would guess it's OX'd. I don't know, though. Probably was, so it is going to get swapped out. We're going to see the Barnchy come in. Barnchy being a flying mental. Hyperkinetic comes out. It's going to finish the Pig. It's going to proc Aerobic, giving it another speed proc. Ooh, the Hyperkinetic comes through and it is going to end that Valorant though. Alright. Out comes the Channeler himself. Xenoreth. A very kind of bulky, kind of linear, one-dimensional, but very bulky Tem with Channeler, which makes it do incredible damage with its special attacks. Crystal not the most aggressive of types. It's not very reactive positively with a lot of types, but the types it does react to are very, very potent, and it is pretty neutral with a lot of types. And when you have just this much raw power coming out, Xenoreth can be a pretty bulky threat. Actually. Does look like some kind of rabbit alien Bugs Bunny with its quadruple ears and crystal tail. Kind of looks like an alien compared to most Tems. Very strange looking Tem. We do see the crystal spikes come out. It does hit for less than 50%, but the beta burst also coming out. It looks like Workman is out of Tems here. He has his God Valorant, but Valorant has a lot of work left to do. Valorant only having such a strong defensive typing that it is only weak to Lightning, which Cammy has none of, and it has +8 special defense. And Xenoreth is a special attacker, Barnchy is a special attacker, and Ukama is a special attacker. So there is a potential here for Valorant to sweep all three, although I will say it is likely that this Valorant does not have enough attacks and or stamina. Workman instead deciding to rest this turn to go up to 95% stamina. It's an interesting choice. Maybe He's waiting for the right moment to hyperkinetic. Maybe hyperkinetic is still on cooldown. I'm not exactly sure. He could probably kill both Ukama and Zenareth with a hyperkinetic at +6 speed. Hyperkinetic being a flying nuke that does extra damage scaled off of how much speed you have. Kami's just swapping his Thames back and forth. We are going to see a Toxic Plume come out. It looks like the Barnshee is a wind specialist, so it is poisonable. That Plume costing Valorant quite a bit of stamina, though. I know he has, or does he not? He must have hyperkinetic, right? Didn't we see it earlier? Or was that from the other Valorant? Does he not have hyperkinetic on his... Maybe he knows something I don't. Maybe he's calced it. Here is the hyperkinetic. Just slicing straight through Zenareth. I think he was hoping to get a... Yeah, so he could probably kill Ukama with a poison technique. And then have the hyperkinetic to finish off the Barnshee. And it's gonna go to these two attempts to try and do 31% damage through a +8 special defense Valorant. So to put it in perspective, +8 special defense means this Valorant is 3 times Ukama living at 0.3% health from the venomous claws. That's a move you don't see. And the Ukama having access to a wind move, which does do neutral damage to Valorant. Valorant is, I think, it exerted there. So we'll have to see if Barnshee can kill in this next strike, because if it doesn't, it likely dies. Likely. Might live, actually, the hyperkinetic, because it is resistant. It does take half damage. But that Valorant is +8 speed now. So this next move is gonna, I think Barnshee has to risk it all for the biscuit. It does energy manip, which is actually really good because that means it doesn't OX. It gets one more chance to kill. Valorant is just gonna bet everything on this hyperkinetic. He has to. He will die if he doesn't. So he's gonna hyperkinetic. Does Barnshee live or does Barnshee die? Barnshee shrugs it off easily. Says, "Excuse me." Okay, GG's. That was a crazy game. All right. So we see his legacy coming up 3-2. This is gonna be a really good series. So this is already a really good series. Let's see what happens, and I'll see you back here for round 2. All right, and we're back for round 2 of the Cipanku Club Dojo. We are going to be watching... Oh, Alola just did such a clinic on Ete. I don't know if... I think Alola's just too powerful. I kind of want to see him again. Let's just follow Alola and see what happens here. Yeah, this person has been 1526. They are a verified gamer. Daniel Darby. Not quite as ranked. Cammy, very ranked. What? What happened there? Was there a bug there? Workman not show up? Uh-oh. A little bit of an oopsie there. Let's watch Alola's game again, because she did so incredibly well last game. She is showing up with her mix-up aggro again. Let's pull my face out of here for now. We are going to see a ban on the Wolfie. Daniel Darby not wanting to play against the Rock Nature 10. Cutting off all of Alola's nature coverage. And quite a bit of their earth coverage. Alola is going to take out Platamus out of the equation. Without any natures, this lets Darby open with Rolder pretty easily. a Rolder, and then if Ukama comes out, we have countermeasures. Multiple countermeasures, actually. Let's see what they choose. They are going to open with Minotaur. Not a big fan of that, because most of the time when you play Minotaur, you're going to want to play either a nature or a neutral. I guess they have three options for natures or neutrals, so I guess it's not the worst. And maybe Alola doesn't have any good options into Minotaur. We do see Roller come out, very, very common pick. Roller does not kill in one Stone Ball, most Minotaurs though. So it's not that bad of a matchup actually. Maybe I should be more willing to open with Minotaur in my games. Mix, however, will absolutely obliterate Minotaur in one round, which is why I don't like opening with Minotaur. Mix is threatening to kill Minotaur at 3 prio in the first round, and that's a dangerous. That's playing with fire. But let's see if there's anything they can do to stop Mix from rampaging over this game again. Okay, we are going to see another Rolder. Now, Minotaur is probably... It could Hasty Lunge and be faster than Mix in round 1. So maybe it will stop Mix from attempting to hit itself to proc Puppet Master, but we'll see. We're looking for the second round of bans. Alola is looking to probably, if he takes on Volcrane, that is likely the only AoE that Daniel Darby will have access to. So it will let Mix rampage. Just go on a rampage again. If she bans the Volcrane, she is instead opting to ban the Calibus, the water toxic typing being quite potent against the 3 of the 5 temps she has left to pick. So I can see that being really, really powerful. Darby is going to go ahead and ban the Ukama. This is their chance to get a Volcrane in there. Volcrane being very weak to Ukama, but pretty resistant to the other temps. Okay. Then we have Mouflink come out. Turok. Tolkien? Not Turok. Tolkien. The Firebird. Amphitheater. The deer. The electric deer. Gaialis. And then Ahi. I'm not going to say Aohi. Aohi, that's like too many syllables. It's 3 syllables for 4 letters. So I'm going to say Ahi. Even though it sounds like Ahi Tuna, I'm going to say Ahi. That's what we're going to call it. Alright, and let's get into the games. I wonder if... Is it a better experience if I put on the music? Maybe it is. It is a nice song. I just wonder if it doesn't get too burdensome after too long. Okay, so Mix is threatening to one-shot this Minotaur at light speed. It also is threatening to obliterate itself to put itself in Puppet Master range, which is not super great because Volcrane exists. We are probably going to see a crystal coming into that Minotaur slot. Nope. Subverting expectations. The Mix actually swaps out, giving Minotaur another proc. Minotaur opening with a Purgation on the Rolder. This is some stuff I never expected. It is going to take a Stone Ball to the face, however. And Momo, the Mouflink, goes by unnoticed, getting plus another speed tick. Each tick of stats is worth 25% of the stats, so that is 25% speed increase for Mouflink here. Minotaur? Huh. I wonder what Daniel Darby was thinking giving Purgation to Rolder there. We are going to see the Black Hole come out. That is super effective. I don't think it'll one-shot, but it'll do good damage. It does really good damage to this Mooflank. Mooflank returning with a Goring. How funny that +1 speed on the Mooflank was... Basically, the base speed of that Minotaur is higher than the base speed of that Mooflank. Couple more Gorings and other things come out. Minotaur goes down. Man, I'm still thinking about that first turn. There's some shit that went on that I'm not fully aware of. Amphitheater does come in, not super great against this board, but not the worst either. Amphitheater being kind of a fragile tank. Like what? It's like a hot, very high speed, very strange typing being electric grass. But then it has like the ability to just become really evasive and gain health whenever it's not hit. So it's like a dexterity tank if you subscribe to the if you subscribe to RPG logic. And both Rollers taking this turn off because they want to save up their stamina for when their Tardy Rush procs, which is this next round here. If they were going to attack on that pass turn, they have to do a drill, horn drill, which costs a lot of stamina. Whereas if they wait, they save stamina and then they get Goring into Held Anger, which are both really, really stamina efficient and really powerful moves, especially when you're tardy rushing. So Ahi is going to come out. The Fire Psychic Tem. He's going to be able to threaten a 3 Prio Fire move on Amphitheater. Amphitheater being able to threaten back with a Thunderstorm. Both moves super effective. I do wonder if Amphitheater can take a Quetzalcoatl and survive. And I do wonder, I know Ahi has pretty decent special defense. I don't know about Amphitheater's stats, physical defense though. Actually, we can look that up real quick. Amphitheater is rocking 65 base HP, 53 defense, kind of below average. Thunderstrike does come out. It does hit Ahi Tuna for a really, really high amount of damage here. Rockfall will finish off the Ahi. Tardy Rush making the Rolder go before the Ahi here, who's probably trying to do a Matter Teleport onto the Rolder. Didn't account for the Tardy Rush Rockfall. It is going to get punished for that. Now we see the Mix return. Man, this is going pretty bad for Alola. They only have 3 Tems left and one is very injured. Daniel Darby up an entire Tem almost. Although Amphitheater is low, it is really low on stamina and it is exhausted. It is still going to go ahead and do Plague to finish off the Rolder at the cost of exhausting itself. That is a good trade. Stopping the Rolder from attacking. Energy Manipulation comes out. This is going to exhaust the Rolder, which is very relevant when it's at 28 stamina. However, it does end up resting this turn. The Reactive Vial proccing. The question is, can Mix one-shot it before it does its next move? Amphitheater, happy to pay 50% of its health to exhaust, now regenerates about 10% with its Relax trait. 15% of its max health with the Relax trait. Every time it doesn't get, every turn it goes by without it getting hit, it regenerates 15% of its health. So he could stay in with the Amphitheater, or he could swap it out. Gaialis doesn't really want to swap into this. And Volcrane definitely doesn't want to swap into this. Although we are probably going to see Mix try to attack the Rolder. And it is likely a fire move is going to come out. So maybe the Volcrane swap, the Amphitheater for Volcrane would be a good option here. Both players have that in their minds. Lola deciding what to do. It's if I'm Lola, I feel like you have to get this Rolder off the table. It still has 50% stamina. It's tardy rushing. It is a menace. I don't know if it's used Held Angry yet, but it's still got a lot of damage left in the tank here. Yeah, Alola's is got their back to the wall. Tolkien having the option to either Fiery Soul the Amphitheater, which is probably going to swap out, or do a Wind Burst on the Rulder, which would be very effective because Rulder doesn't have that much special defense. But Rulder will still get an attack off, even if it's doubled. The question is, will it survive a hit from Mix? If I'm Alola here, I double the left slot and Prage that the Crystal Spikes just obliterates the Rulder. Now that it's neutralized by the reactive vial. Let's see how it shakes out. Goring comes out from the Tardy Rush Rulder very fast. It is going to proc the bait on the Tolkien, which is going to be very useful. Alola wants to turn this, it's going to need every last drop of stamina. Crystal Spikes comes out, it does not even come close to obliterating the Rulder. Turkey does a Fiery Soul. Maybe anticipating a swap there for Gaialis. Either way, it does finish off the Rulder, but the Amphitheater gets a turn to rest and regenerate another 15% of its health. And now it's going to be good to go to finish off that Tolkien, unless it can be finished off first. Although we know that Amphitheater is very fast. It played faster than the Rulder could, I believe, Goring. I believe. Maybe Rulder wasn't trying to Goring, but it is still one of the faster attempts in the game. Actually, like one of the top 3. 110 base speed. That's like never been heard of. Alola has seen enough, and surrenders. So far, Legacy doing great. Saga winning his game. Cammy, I believe something happened there. And then Legacy L winning their match. There's some dregs of the game over here. Let's see what's going on with Ete and Seviper. It is the Rulder. It is the Rulder ruled off. But it looks like Ete is in a commanding lead here. Having an extra 78% health over the enemy Rulder. Maybe the game is loading. Not a lot of options here. Yeah, we're not gonna stay for this. Oh, Goring comes out. Goring goes in, and Ete wins this round, scoring a point for Asylum. Okay, so it is 4-6. I don't know if Workman... I think I saw Workman observing there, so maybe it was just like something happened and they disconnected for that match, but they're not gone completely. So they will get a chance to redeem themselves here. Asylum versus... It's a 4-6. So in order to win, Legacy needs to win 2? What if it's 2-3? Asylum would go up 4, 5, 6, 7... Yeah, so for Asylum to win here, they need to win 4 of their 5 rounds. That would make it 8-7. And for Legacy to win, they need to just win 2. They gotta win 4. These guys gotta win 2. I'll see you in the next round. Alright. This is for all the marbles. Asylum versus Legacy. They are battling for the chance to play against the Girthy Grummels for the finals tomorrow. Right now the score is 4-6. Legacy needs to win 2 games to progress. Asylum needs to win 4. We're going to be watching Saga's match, and it has just started, so let's get in. Alright, and Saga is coming out with his stall comp. Oh no, I don't want to watch stall. He's coming out with his stall comp, and ETE is going to be running what looks to be like a... Ooh. a very interesting Grandpa comp. Grandpa plus Naga. Is this the Water Custodian Naga I've heard rumors of? We shall see. Saga is going to go ahead and open with a Schween. Confidently picks the Schween after the Kinu gets banned, and he bans the Minotaur. Yaller is still open. Yaller Schween is a classical composition. Kinu and Grandpa are going to open. Kinu having access to Turbo, and Grandpa also having access to a lot of CC, is going to Saga adjust by choosing to pick Tyrannak instead of Yaller. Tyrannak being a fire grass temp, it is able to put some pressure on Kinu so that Kinu cannot just sit there and accumulate value. We don't know if this is an anti-item or an anti-passive Tyrannak, but we'll find out soon. Tyrannak is also on a stall comp, so it is likely that it is an extinction Tyrannak. Looking to doom the entire enemy team. So looking for ban 2 for ETE. If I was ETE, I would slam that Yaller ban quick. But we shall see what ETE can do with his, looks like a hypno aggro, what I would call a hypno aggro comp. A lot of sleeps, potential sleeps on this team. 2 hypnosis users, a crystal deluge. So we are actually going to see ETE ban the Noxolotl, which Saga responds to with a Scunch ban. And the teams are filling out here. Yaller not even getting picked, so what do I know? That's actually really surprising to me. Saga thinking he can win with his double poisons against a field of only 1 flying. No toxic, so it is possible. And let's see how the game works out. Alright. It is an Intimidator, so it is going to stop passives of Thames. Kinu's Protector doesn't go off, which is nice, sort of. Don't know how much Saga cares about defensive stats. Because it looks like this Tyrannak is probably going to try and kill people with Doom. It is going to give ETE a lot of time to set up here. He has access to a lot of different moves. Turbo potentially on Kinu. Turbo potentially on Grandpa. Hypnosis potentially on both of the Thames. I don't know, does Schween stop Hypnosis? Let's see. Well, regardless of if Schween's passive stops Hypnosis, doesn't really matter. Schween does have access to Fluid Barrier though, so it can inoculate somebody, make them unsleepable. We are going to see pressure come out from the Grandpa and the Kinu, bringing Tyrannak down to 55% with their double. Schween is going to give a Fluid Barrier, which adds a lot of special defense. It is going to take this, it's going to cause this Tyrannak to take an extra 2 attacks to die, basically. Considering both of the enemy Thames are 2 special defense. It also makes the Tyrannak immune. We do see an Embers come out to do some chip damage to the Grandpa. A Hypnosis coming out to sleep the Schween, and a Turbo. If this Grandpa is Hyperkinetic Strike, it will be supercharged, having 3 pips of speed from 3 pips of speed from the Turbo Choreography. And this Grandpa does have a Sweatband, so it is ready to stay for the long run. Will this Hyperkinetic kill Tyrannak? Let's find out. 55? Does not kill it. It brings it down to 28 though. Kinu follows up with a Beta Burst, bringing it down to 11. This Tyrannak is hurting, but not before it gets off at its extinction. Dooming the Kinu, dooming the Grandpa. The Shreen wakes up, and the doom starts ticking. In 3 turns, the Grandpa and the Kinu will both die if the doom is not removed from them. The Kinu's... Oh my goodness. The Kinu had a Diabolo, and it just puts Grandpa back up to 100%. If this Kinu has Sacrifice, it can remove the doom. If this Grandpa has Stare, it can give itself Alert, and we can swap in a Mom's Lunch to remove the doom from it. The most efficient thing tempo-wise is for the Kinu to sacrifice itself. We are going to see the Tyrannac switch out. Not ready to die just yet. Hypoxia comes out into the Pick-a-Pick. Pick-a-Pick is resistant. It does very little damage. A Quartz Shield coming out into the Pick-a-Pick, giving it plus 2 pips of defense, 2 pips of special defense. Kinu is going to rest. This gives Kinu enough stamina to do a Beta Burst and then a Sacrifice next turn to save the Grandpa. I hope, well, not I hope, but if the Kinu has Sacrifice, it'll be big. Although I will say it is unlikely that the Kinu has Sacrifice, since we have seen it use Turbo. Kinu almost always has Beta Burst and Resin Trap, and so we've seen it use Turbo. We haven't seen it use Hypnosis yet, though. So maybe it doesn't have Hypnosis. The Grandpa, however, does have Hypnosis. It's going to go ahead and sleep the Piggy. Very powerful sleep when the target is at full stamina. Resin Trap comes out, does really good damage to the Shreen. Reactive Vial proccing. Ah, Shreen with Reactive Vial. That's interesting. Fleet Raider coming out. Stopping any new conditions from affecting the Pick-a-Pick, but not removing the conditions already on it. This Grandpa is getting a lot of value out of this Sweatband. It's been using a lot of stamina, and it needs to do something or else it's going to die this turn from the Doom. So will we see a Sacrifice from the Kinu? Or is this opener for Ete down? The Hyperkinetic comes out, exhausting the Grandpa, doing good damage to the Shreen. And the Kinu does do a Beta Burst, sealing the fate of both the Ete's Stems. They will fall now to the Doom. Alright. So that leaves us with a 4 Tems for Sagar, 3 for Ete. We have a Pick-a-Pick on the board. Does have Divine Inspiration, so we are going to see some special defense buffs come out. Rolder, Mudrid, and Garia, they all share the Earth type, so Valorend might be a good pick here, being resistant to Earth attacks. Pick-a-Pick's Diabolo procs, healing Tyrannac back up. Tyrannac comes back in, gets a nice pick-me-up from the Pick-a-Pick. This Diabolo item is nuts, guys. Tyrannac is going to tank a Soil Steam. Brings him from 50 down to 30. Pick-a-Pick picks it back up to about 44. Gives us some special defense too. Drill Impact comes out. We are putting some pressure on this Tyrannac. It does do a giant shelter, giving it 4 pips of defense and special defense, basically doubling its defenses for both stats. It is going to get pulled out. Nid is going to come in. Nid, being a nature type, is very good against both of these grounds. However, Nid is more of a poison, does more poison damage than nature damage. And I mean poison and not toxic. So Stonewall is coming in on Nid after the attacks, giving it 3 pips of defense. And let's see if the pig can keep up this Nid. It definitely can. The all-in didn't do half of its health, and now it's tankier than before. This is looking really dire for Et. Crystal Deluge comes down, chipping away at this Nid. Drill Impact comes in. Pig uses Sharp Rain. I did not even know Pig had access to that. That's really interesting. Allergic Spread. Doing 2 super effective hits, even though it's not really meant for the damage as much as it's meant for the poison. The poison being so virulent. It's 3 stacks of poison. There are very few moves in this game besides Nid who can put 3 stacks of poison with 1 attack, and that does it on both characters, so that's a really, really potent move. Doing essentially 70% health spread across 2 Tems in 3 turns. The Rolder does have a Helldanger ready for this Tyranax swap. Brings it down to 5%. Divine Inspiration comes out. Healing Tyranax. Bringing it back up to 20. Oh man, Tardy Rush is proccing. Will it be enough for these Tems to lay low this Tyranax? Or will it get off another Extinction event, which will for sure win the game? It is going to be tough, I'll tell you that. Tyranax being very hard to take down. Its typing making it weak pretty much only to Toxic, I believe? Which is a very rare type to find big damage attacks on. But Saga is gonna go ahead and swap out. The Volumin's gonna come in and tank the water attack and threaten both of these ground Tems with its air moves. Nid is still here with 16% health. If it can get off another allergic spread, it will kill the Mudrid and severely harm the Gario. ETC is bogged down into the mud and the mire. All of his Earth Tems just struggling to deal with the gigantic defenses of Saga's team. Saga is choosing to swap out. I would have liked to see him just stay in. He can afford to trade some Tems for tempo. But he's going to swap. Pig easily tanks the damage from the Crystal Deluge. The Pig being at +6 special defense. Like, wow. My goodness. Water Jet comes through. Gario having a... Didn't use Water Geyser last turn? I guess Water Jet is a different hold than Geyser. Gario does have the option. If he ever gets... He's a very slow Tem, but he has 2 water moves that both cause chill. If chill stacks... If you get 2 chills on somebody, they freeze. But Saga, ETC, sees the writing on the walls, is going to surrender to Saga. And it is 2-2 right now. Basically, Legacy has won. It's the first to 8. But let's just take a peek at this last game. Workman and Seviper going at it. Workman having his classic +8 speed, +7 special defense. Purple Bird. Kinu tanking a Fire Tornado and living to tell the tale. Ooh, both of these teams, is that I believe is the Cat Cannon. That is a King's Roar Raikan. It might even be Motivator too, which is not super great when all of your Tems are full stamina because they're constantly being frozen. But Seviper is up 5 Tems to 4. But Workman does have really impressive plus stats on his Thames, so I think Workman might even be ahead at this point. Workman is going to swap in his Piggy. Meteor Swarm coming out. Dropping the Pig down. We see Workman's... Wait, that's not a Luma. Workman specializes in baby Thames, and Venmet is one of the very few baby Thames that is also viable in competitive. I believe that's Venmet. No, that's Vanks, excuse me. That little acorn there is called Vanks. Its evolution is called Venmet. It's fighting evolution. Anyways, that little acorn is one of the few viable baby Thames. Workman a big fan of head ramming, which is interesting because as a non-stat move, it's not really great on a neutral target. But maybe he's anticipating a swap out. Alright, well, I think we're just gonna call it stop here. GG's.